This is CBS News on the Hour.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. A star quarterback is calling it quits. Correspondent Steve Kathan has our top story.
Tom Brady broke the news on Twitter.
Good morning, guys. I'll get to the point right away. I'm retiring for good.
Last year's retirement didn't last long, but this time he says it's different.
Really, thank you guys so much to every single one of you for supporting me. My family, my friends, teammates.
At 45, Brady leaves the game a 7-time Super Bowl winner.
Thank you guys for allowing me to live my absolute dream. I wouldn't change a thing. Love you all.
Brady's last season was a tough one. The Bucs lost a wild card game to Dallas, and Brady and his wife Giselle Boone. Thousands of people will be in Memphis later this morning to mourn Tyre Nichols, the FedEx worker brutally beaten by police last month. His funeral will be held at the same church where the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. gave his last speech. The Reverend J. Lawrence Turner at Mississippi Boulevard Christian Church.
We're focused on celebrating Tyre's life. We cannot and will not allow the way in which he died to define the totality of his life.
Roads are still slick as an icy weather system paralyzes parts of the South. At least 2 people have been killed in Texas, and the weather's not letting up. Meteorologist Craig Allen with our affiliate WCBS.
Ice, sleet, and freezing rain continues in many portions of Texas on up through Arkansas and over towards the Tennessee and Kentucky area. There's also the first snowfall of the season for the New York City area as well as Philadelphia.
Almost 1,900 flights in the U.S. are canceled today. Interest rates are expected to go up again. The Federal Reserve meets today. This time, economists believe hike of a 1/4 point. That's the smallest increase since the Fed began jacking up rates last March to fight inflation. The Biden administration's taking aim at all that extra money you have to shell out when you don't pay on time. CBS's Sarah Ewell-Rice.
The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is proposing a new rule that is projected to cut credit card late fees that are typically $30 to $8. The proposed change has several hurdles to go, but the Biden administration hopes it could take effect next year. It could reduce credit card late fees by as much as $9 billion a year.
This year's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominations just in. George Michael is among the 13 nominees, so are Sheryl Crow, Iron Maiden, and Missy Elliott. Cyndi Lauper and Willie Nelson make the cut too. You were always on my mind. Inductees will be announced in May. On 12, Dow Futures off 159. This is CBS News.
America, your children.
Spirit fans, Wednesday, February 1st, your Saginaw Spirit take on the Flint Firebirds at the Dow Event Center. Puck drops at 7:05. Join us for Leukemia and Lymphoma Night. You can get your tickets online at SaginawSpirit.com or go in person at the Saginaw Spirit office on State Street. Also, get tickets at the box office at the Dow Event Center.
You're right up front. They score! That's a start. Dean Logan.
Game on, Spirit fans.
I studied Spanish in college and never got fluent, but then I tried Babbel.
Want the most effective way to learn another language? In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons will have you learning another language in as little as 3 weeks.
Babbel is all conversation. Speaking quickly about things you actually talk about in the real world.
You'll really see a difference in how you can speak and how conversational you can be in just a few weeks.
Babbel isn't just lessons. You can listen to podcasts, play games, watch videos. You can even take live online classes with a language teacher. There are so many ways to learn with Babbel.
The lessons online and in the app make it easy to learn from pretty much anywhere. University studies have shown that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a semester of college Spanish. If you want to learn a new language, there's no better way than Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Frankenwood Credit Union presents the 6th annual Bay City Country Music Festival, featuring Jimmy Allen.
Girl, what's your name? What you drinking? Yeah, what's your
And Friday, June 16th, featuring Mitchell Tenpenny.
Cause drunk me can't get over you.
And this year, a 3rd show on Saturday, June 17th, featuring Nelly.
It's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes.
Get your tickets today at KenSheltonPromotions.com. Also sponsored by J&D Boots USA.
From the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Sunny skies and 6 degrees at 9:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Percha. A missing 27-year-old from Standish was not alone when he disappeared January 21st. Armani Kelly was last seen leaving for Detroit to perform along with fellow rappers Montoya Givens and Dante Wicker. The three men had reportedly met in prison, being released. According to police, the group was scheduled to perform at Lounge 31 on Gratiot Avenue for a birthday party, but the gig was canceled due to equipment problems. Kelly's fiancee has told the Detroit News after getting out of prison, he had turned his life around and was attending college. Kelly's vehicle was found by police, and the search for the three men continue. Anyone with information is asked to call 1-800-SPEAK-UP. The Saginaw Township Community Schools Board of Education has approved placing a $243 million bond proposal on the May 2nd ballot. If approved by voters, the bond will finance improvements at all school facilities. It will also provide revenue for demolishing 3 aging circular classroom pods and constructing a new academic and arts facility at Heritage High School. The gyms, pool, and cafeteria will remain at the high school. The proposal requires a $5.75 million tax increase, which will cost the average Saginaw Township Community School District homeowner in a home $1,000, $23.95 per month. Information about the proposal is available now on the school district's website at stcs.org or by emailing Superintendent Bruce Martin at dbmartin@stcs.org. WSGW News Time, 9:07.
Engaged to be married? Planning the biggest day of your life? Join us February 12th from 1 to 3:30 p.m. at the Great Hall in Midland for the Bliss Bridal Wedding Expo and Fashion Show. One day only, be inspired and find everything for your wedding. Fabulous door prizes including $500 cash prize and more. Tickets are only $5 at the door or online at blissmidland.com. See you February 12th at the bridal event of the season, the Bliss Bridal Wedding Expo and Fashion Show at the Great Hall in Midland. RocketGrabPlus.com.
Why would you pay full price when you know that you can save money at .com? Check out our deals going on right now from Applied Training Solutions, 3rd Gen Tire and Service Center, Style Encore, Salon Blue, the Frankenmuth Aerial Park, and 120 Fitness. Half off? You bet. And it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
WSGW News Time, 9:08. The weather forecast is next. Prosecutors say a Detroit area man who was captured on a Syrian battlefield in 2018 has been convicted on charges of providing support to the Islamic State group and attending one of the group's training camps. A federal jury in Detroit convicted 32-year-old Ibrahim Izzi Musabli on Monday of charges of providing and attempting to provide material support to the IS group, conspiring to provide material support to the group, and attending an Islamic State training camp. Prosecutors say the Dearborn man faces a maximum 50-year prison sentence at his mail. Musabli was captured by the U.S.-backed Syrian Democratic Forces in 2018, flown back to the U.S., and charged in July 2018. After Ford lowers prices for its electric Mustang Mach-E, GM says it has no plans to do anything similar. Here's Autobeat reporter Jeff Gilberts.
Other than the Chevy Bolt, which saw a price cut last year, GM's current EVs are high-end with long waiting lists. Same for the coming electric pickups. CEO Mary Barra says Chevy's mass-market electric SUVs, Blazers, and Equinoxes should lower the price curve on their own.
We're well-positioned, and the strength of our product portfolio, I think, giving us the confidence to where we sit right now, we're feeling that we priced appropriately.
Tesla recently making deep cuts to the price of some of its products. Jeff Gilbert, the Michigan News Network.
The DNR is looking for 1,300 seasonal workers at a number of state parks and facilities. Seasonal worker starting pay is $15 an hour, and employees can work up to 1,040 hours between April and October. Internships and college credits are available. Season park ranger positions are also available at a limited number of parks. Park ranger positions pay between $19.39 and $27.26 an hour, with up to Benefits are also part of those positions. To be eligible for seasonal employee positions or park rangers, an applicant must be at least 18 years old, possess a valid driver's license, and pass a criminal background check and drug screening. For more information or to apply, visit michigan.gov/DNR/about/careers. WSGW News Time 910. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weather. Today, areas of snow showers continues in the morning, then partly sunny with a high of 26. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low of 19 degrees. Thursday, no chance of snow showers starting late in the afternoon, partly sunny with a high of 31. Thursday night, a chance of snow showers continues, mostly cloudy with a low of 4 above. Then Friday, a chance of snow showers, partly sunny skies with a high of 11 degrees. Friday night, a chance of snow showers in the evening, then partly cloudy with a low of 4 below. Saturday, 1. I'm meteorologist Patrick McMillan with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Right now, it's 8 above.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Yes, indeed. Sponsor, Westside Decorating Center, located at 5789 State Street in Saginaw, with their newly expanded showroom and everything you need for home decorating at Westside Decorating Center. Later on, after the 10 o'clock news, Chief Reggie Williams from the Buena Vista Township Police Department will join us to talk about policing and the Memphis incident. We will talk to him about that. At 11 o'clock this morning on Focus, we will focus on Auburn with Robin and the Auburn Outreach. That is what's happening this morning. But we're going to start this hour talking about the Mackinac Center and what they see as their priorities coming up here in 2023. And to do that this morning, the Vice President of Marketing and Communications is with us. We say good morning to Jarret Skorup. Jarret, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Hey, glad to be here. All right, so we came off a couple of pandemic years and things weren't exactly normal for most of us, but we head into 2023 hoping maybe for a little more normalcy. What do you see as the top issues, the top priorities that the Mackinac Center wants to focus on this year?
Well, we have a new legislature, and the things that they're coming out are things that are mostly putting us on defense, which is we have massive new spending. We have an attempt to repeal the state's right to work law. And then just breaking earlier this week is an attempt to hike taxes. So those are all things that we're opposed to and that we're keeping an eye on. And then I'm hopeful that later in the year, some of the other priorities will go well.
So let's take these one at a time. Which one is number one?
I think defending the state's right to work law, because that was one of the first bills introduced. Labor unions are the biggest funder of the Democratic Party, and so that was something that right away they said they're going to attempt to repeal that law, and we'd like to defend the 140,000 people who've decided that they do not want to be members of their unions.
And let's talk about that for a minute, Jarret, because unions, it seems to me, and I am not anti-union. I'm not pro. I'm not anti. There's a place for them. But it would seem to me that the unions do not have the strength and power they used to have, nor are they totally lockstep with one party. The membership is pretty diverse these days, isn't it?
Yeah, about 40% of union members vote Republican. So, still most Democrats, but a fairly even split. But for me, I mean, that's not even really the important thing. The important thing is everybody should have a right to join any group they want, any legal, normal group, and they should have a right to not join. And, most of the males in my family were labor union members. They worked in trades fields that tend to be unionized. And unionized. And they agreed with them sometimes and they disagreed sometimes. And that's great. That's how it should work. But the key thing is nobody should be forced to be a member of any organization, especially a political organization, against their will, whatever your reason for wanting them to be. We just think that's wrong.
Yeah, I would agree, but I'll play devil's advocate here for a moment. If that's the case, and let's say right to work stays in place and you have the right to join the union or not join the union, if you decide to work for a company but not join the union, should you get the same benefits that the union negotiated for?
I think that that no union should have to negotiate on behalf of a non-member. So no, I think if unions want to, they should be able to say, okay, fine. If you're not a member, we're not going to negotiate on your behalf, and that employee should know that. So I agree with that, and the Mackinac Center has passed a law to allow that. But labor unions end up fighting those laws because even if some of the workers are non-members, they want to represent everybody because that just helps them at the negotiating table. But I agree. If you don't pay the dues or you're not a member of a group, then they shouldn't have to represent you.
Let's talk for a minute about the majority in the legislature. It's Democrat in both the House and the Senate. It hasn't been that way for a long, long time. But the Senate majority is not that great. Do you see potential for Democrats coming to your side and blocking some of these things?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it really depends on the issue. I think you have, if Republicans are united, that means you need every single Democrat to be united in order to pass something. So I think there's a couple of issues that Democrats will really want, and they'll try to get through, and that's their right. They won the legislature. They can do that. But I think most issues are going to be bipartisan. You're going to get at least a couple of votes, and so I think that means Democrats. You have one or two that could block something, and that means you can get some along. Right off the bat, the very first bill passed was $800 million into select incentives, what we call corporate welfare. We're not a fan of that at the Mackinac Center. So select incentives for big businesses. We think you should have low flat taxes for everyone. Well, that bill was mostly Democrats. It was almost all Democrats, but one Democrat voted against it, which means they needed to get a couple of Republicans, which they did. So I think that's something we're probably going to see throughout the year, whether the legislation is good or bad.
It's going to be an interesting year, isn't it?
It will be a very interesting year, that's for sure.
Let's talk about something that impacts everybody: taxes. What do you see on the horizon? What do you think they're going to be able to pass, and what would you like to see them not pass?
Yeah, well, one of the things that even coming out of, and this is a good thing, we were very nervous during COVID we had a 1 year where the budget really looked like it was in trouble, but overall we've had pretty good economic growth, very healthy growth in the state budget. Back in 2015, there was a bipartisan bill that hiked fees on, people might remember this, might not be too happy. It hiked the gas tax and it hiked fees on cars. Built into that law was that if the state revenue, if the state budget increased well above inflation, that it would automatically cut the income tax cut. Well, the first year that went into place was last year. So at the end of last year's budget, revenue was so big in the government that this year the income tax is set to automatically cut. We like that. That's a good thing. We have a lot of revenue. It should go back to people who are the ones that are paying those taxes. Unfortunately, some Democrats want to avoid that. And so what they're trying to do right now is to shift that money over to Corporate Welfare Development Fund. The governor has made no secret she wants to do that. She would really like a $1 billion or more fund that her administration can use to try to entice companies to Michigan or to grow in Michigan. We don't think that's good tax policy. We would prefer everybody see an across-the-board tax cut rather than just giving select subsidies to a few big businesses. Now, again, she needs pretty much every Democrat in the legislature to go along with that. So it's a contentious issue. It's a fight that's going on right now in Lansing. But right now they're trying to prevent an income tax cut. corporations. And these are Democrats, which is a surprising thing.
Let's talk about that for a minute from a different perspective, because the budget is different, and but a lot of that has to do with the influx of federal funds over the past couple of years. Those funds are about to dry up. So next year, if the budget goes down, does that number go back up again?
The number automatically cutting the income tax is only based on state revenue, so it doesn't include that federal funding. But if state, if we hit goes down very quickly, then they would have, it wouldn't automatically, we don't have any automatic tax hike, but the legislature would then have to determine, well, how do we balance our budget? What do we spend the money on? Do we have to hike taxes? That's the same issue they have every year. We've just been on a streak here of 4 years of a very healthily growing budget.
All right, hang on, Jarret. I got to take a break, and we'll be back. We're talking to Jarret Skorup. He is the Vice President of Marketing and Communications for the Mackinac Center, and we will have more when we return. Let me take a moment to tell you about my friends at McDonald Ford in Freeland, a family-owned business. And I've known the McDonalds for decades. One of the first families I met when I moved here in 1974, and know them as people who really care. They really want to serve their customers and help you in every way they can. But, the name is a little deceiving because it's McDonald Ford, but they're not just a Ford dealer. And all you have to do is drive on their lot and look at their pre-owned inventory to know that. They have Chevys, and they have Cadillacs, and they have Lincolns, and they have Jeeps, and they had a Mercedes-Benz, and all kinds of vehicles. As a matter of fact, I'm driving one from that inventory. I'm driving a 2019 Silverado Z71 Trail Boss pickup truck. It's a fabulous truck. And it's been through, like every other pre-owned vehicle, their extensive 100-point inspection. So it's a no-worry drive when you buy one of those cars from McDonald Ford. And if you do have a problem, have no fear, because they have an outstanding service department ready to serve everything from minor to major repairs. They also have a collision center, the Drive Collision Center, and the quick lane change for fast oil changes. It's all there at McDonald Ford. Everything you need to have peace of mind when you drive a McDonald Ford vehicle, no matter what it is. They are also community-minded. And what do I mean by that? Well, they just paid off Freeland High School library debt. They paid it off. The dealership paid it off. They are part of the community. McDonald Ford is my dealer of choice and has been for many, many, many years. New or pre-owned, the McDonald staff treats you like family, because family is everything to the McDonald family. McDonald Ford, 6790 Midland Road in Freeland, devoted to helping and serving you. We'll be back with our guest.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
Speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is from Applied Training Solutions. You are going to get half off of a CPL class. It's normally $150, but you're getting this deal for just $75. A CPL class is necessary for anyone looking for the proper certification to apply for a concealed pistol license in the state of Michigan. And you must be 21 or older. Head to RocketGrabPlus. Snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com. I'm Jerry Willis, and this is the Fox Business Report. Job growth from private employers last month was much weaker than expected. Payroll processing company ADP is reporting 106,000 new jobs created in January. It's not necessarily a forecast of the monthly employment report, which is released on Friday. ADP says weather-related disruptions had an impact on hiring while it was collecting information for the report. The Federal Reserve is expected to raise interest rates by a quarter
when it wraps up its meeting today as it continues to fight inflation. Peloton Interactive is reporting a smaller loss in the holiday quarter. Its sales declined 30%, but the company was holding up better than expected, holding steady with about 3 million subscribers to its online workouts. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Inflation is nothing more than legalized theft. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and to preserve your wealth, I highly recommend keeping physical gold in your retirement account. To learn more, to 989898 to get a free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold, which is the only gold IRA company I trust. So text SHELTER to 989898 to request your free info kit right now.
First, we decide where we want to go. Then we need to know the best way to get there. Hi, my name's Adam Barada. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold. We're the highest rated precious metals firm in the country. We teach people how to own physical gold and silver. And we've won the Best of TrustLink Award 4 years in a row because we educate our gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our experts. We'll send you a free gold kit along with my latest #1 national best-selling book, The Great Devaluation. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the best information, the best process, the best service, the best value. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before.
GW Morning Team. WSW Online poll, the gun reforms in Michigan, and Governor Whitmer's recent State of the State address. She did outline the policies regarding firearms. The governor said lawmakers should enact universal background check requirements for people who want to buy firearms. Wants to create a safe storage standard for guns at home and pass extreme risk protection orders, the red flag laws. The governor said,
and I want to be very clear, I'm not talking about law-abiding citizens. Hunters and responsible gun owners from both sides of the aisle know we need to get these common sense safety proposals across the finish line.
Poll question for you is this: what gun reforms would you support or not support? Your answer on the three proposals that the governor referenced. And we've given you a chance to say you support them all, or you don't support any, or a combination of the three. Vote by going to WSW.com and scroll down the homepage and find the poll box.
Your morning team, Charlie, Denise, and Pat, 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show, it's G.I. Joe Day. G.I. Joe Day? You know what G.I. Joe wears for underwear? No, tell me. None. Goes Commando.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show, talking to Jarret Skorup, the Vice President of Marketing and Communications for the Mackinac Center for Public Policy. Jarret, let's talk about competitiveness, the state of Michigan versus other states for a moment. Then let's use the, for lack of a better one, the Ford battery plants in Tennessee. How does Michigan compete with other states when they lay pretty big dollars on the table to entice these companies to come to their location?
Michigan should some of the leading growth states, Utah and Idaho, do, which is they should have a low flat rate for everybody and not get into the game of doing large, big subsidy programs. And really, I mean, this is not new. Michigan did this a lot, especially during the Great Recession years, the Granholm years. We have a report that we did. We looked at all the companies that we gave major dollars to. None of them met their job projections. Most of them are actually bankrupt at this point. So we just don't think government does a good job of figuring out what companies up in the future and which ones aren't. We love Ford, we love GM, we love our great companies that are here, but we should lower taxes on them and everybody else for a competitive environment, and we shouldn't get into a bidding war with other states over plants.
And you mentioned Utah, I think, is one of those. If you were to track the companies that went there, was the track record any different than it was in Michigan?
Well, so the report that we do is we look at the total amount. Every state has some type of fund of giving money out, select incentives to companies, including Utah and Idaho. But Utah and Idaho have these states on a per person. Michigan's one of the very highest. And so what we look at is we just compare how much do these states give out, and we look at whether there's a correlation in creating jobs, and there isn't. We don't think that on net these lead to better jobs. There is a strong correlation in states having lower, flatter, competitive business taxes and getting more businesses in their state. So that's what we care about.
All right, let's talk about employees and where we're going to find them these days, because I think, first of all, we know that Michigan has always, not always, but Michigan of recent years has been a donor state rather than a recipient state for people coming in and working who are skilled. We train them and then they go elsewhere. How do we stem that tide?
One of the big things is just make it very easy for people to get into the workforce. So an area that I care about a lot is occupational licensing rules. So that's just what are the standards that people have to go through in order to work. And a lot of times it makes sense. Obviously, you're going to a medical area, you should have a certain standards that you have. But the thing that I look at is where are we really out of whack? And I always tell people, look, it makes no sense that in the state of Michigan to be a air.
Whoop. There you go. Lost you for a minute.
Oh,
okay.
Sorry
about that.
So I say in Michigan here, it makes no sense that a cosmetologist or hairdresser needs to do more hours of training than a lawyer. And there are things like that where our regulatory mandates are so out of whack with other states that we should reform them. And then the other thing is, if somebody's been working in another state, legally working, safely working, we should automatically allow them to come in here and work in that job. Michigan will have new requirements on people, licensing requirements moving from other states. My younger sister is a teacher. She's an Army wife. When she has to go follow her husband around when he moves to another base, these new training classes and these new educational requirements many times, even though she's doing the exact same job as a teacher. Michigan, if somebody's working as a teacher, they're moving here to Michigan, automatically let them in, let them begin teaching. Same thing for a lot of other jobs.
Let's take a look at some of the other things that are on the list that I saw for the Mackinac Center. Workforce training in prisons.
Yeah.
Explain it.
Yeah, we had a report recently looking. So Michigan will, for prisoners, they can go through, if they know they're going to get out, they can get some of their training of certain jobs they want to go, trades jobs. So we did a report looking at how effective those programs were, and we found they're pretty effective. They cut down, somebody coming out and being able to get a job immediately cuts down on their chance of recommitting a crime. And so there's not many areas you'll hear the Mackinac Center say we should spend more government money on, but one of the things we should do is these workforce training programs for prisoners, and also even just making it easier for people with a criminal background to find work. Everyone should feel safe. We should go through background checks. The way I put it is nobody should be forced to hire somebody coming out of prison or that has committed a criminal act, but the government should also not stand in the way of people who want to hire those people. And right now there are government rules and laws in place preventing people from giving people a second chance, and we support reforming those.
Speaking of prisons, one of the things you're looking at this year is to reduce over-criminalization and recidivism rates. You talked about recidivism. What do you mean by reducing over-criminalization?
Well, I think people just don't realize how many crimes Michigan actually has on the books. I mean, maybe they did realize this, a lot of these during COVID, how many things could be determined as a criminal act, usually from a department. Michigan has 50% more crimes on the books than Indiana and Ohio does. And so one of the things we're constantly talking about is lawmakers having these review committees to get rid of a lot of these older laws that are on the books. If they don't make sense anymore, we should right-size our criminal rules. So something might be bad, it might be worth being a crime, but maybe it should be a misdemeanor, or maybe it shouldn't be. In Michigan here, our prisoners tend to serve longer sentences than other states do for the same crimes. And, you know, if it's preventing them from committing a crime or being out, or if it's actually causing them to rethink criminal activity, then that's a good thing. But often it's not. It's keeping people in prison for longer than makes sense. It's having a crime on the book that nobody is actually enforcing. And so we think cleaning up the books for those things, getting rid of over-criminalization is a good thing.
There's a couple of more things I want to talk about. Can you hang on for another segment?
Definitely.
Good. All right. We'll be back. We're talking to Jarret Skorup from the Mackinac Center for Public Policy. We'll be back with him after these notes.
Welcome to retirement. Now, replace your paycheck. To local financial coach Kevin Ray, this is what retirement planning is all about.
Building monthly paychecks. And how you build those monthly paychecks is going to determine how well in retirement you're going to enjoy it. So sit down and build a good framework, and it starts with income.
So build your framework with Kevin and the team at Insight by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
Why do I like to work at Alpha Media Saginaw? Endless opportunities, fun work environment, flexible schedules. Alpha Media Saginaw is expanding their marketing department and looking for the right team player to continue to help local businesses grow through on-air and digital campaigns. We offer flexible schedules, full benefits, and paid holidays. If you have a passion for sales and love building relationships in the community, contact General Sales Manager Carrie Gustafson at 989-752-3456 or apply online at alphamediausa.com/careers.
Alpha Media is an EEO employer.
Moments like hearing my cat purr good morning mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib. Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for postmenopausal women or for men with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Deb's constipation with belly pain, discomfort, and bloating kept giving her grief. She talked to her doctor to get some relief. Deb had irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C, which was a start. Saying yes to Linzess helped her do her part.
Linzess, or linaclotide, is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. Linzess works differently than laxatives. It lets you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2 years old. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. There could be more to your story with IBS-C. Talk to a doctor today. Say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS. Sponsored by Abbey and Ironwood Pharmaceuticals.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's be real. Retirement and inflation is making it even harder with the cost of everything going up from pet food to a dozen eggs. Wouldn't it be great if the cost of your health care could go down? Well, MediShare 65 Plus is $99 a month for ages 65 to 74. And for many with Medicare Parts A and B, looking at other options, that's 50% or more saved per month. No gimmicks. It's $99 a month, and you can use any Medicare-approved doctor or facility, and you get 24/7 access to telehealth from the convenience of your home. Better yet, MediShare is a Christian nonprofit organization. It's a community that'll pray for you. And since we've cut out the middleman, you get to keep the savings. Call now. You can learn more about MediShare 65 Plus. Here's the number, 844-SHARE-65. That's 844-SHARE-65, 844-SHARE-65.
Art Lewis here for WSGW, inviting you to explore America's last frontier, Alaska, from August 30th to September 10th, 2023. You'll fly from Detroit to Fairbanks for the start of a 12-day land and sea adventure. Ride the stern wheel of discovery as you learn about Alaska's diverse culture and rich history. Then it's on to Denali National Park for a Tundra Wilderness Tour. From Denali, you'll rail car to Talkeetna and stay at the Talkeetna Alaskan Lodge. The next day finds you driving to Whittier to board Holland America's New Amsterdam for a 7-night cruise. You'll see Hubbard Glacier, Glacier Bay, plus stops in Skagway, Juneau, and Ketchikan before sailing the Inside Passage to your final destination of Vancouver, BC. Past experience tells us this will sell out fast. For a brochure, send your address to me and I will forward the brochure to you. Send to artlewis@wsgw.com. That's ARTLEWIS at WSGW.com. Alaska is calling.
The WSGW shows are sponsored by the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center in Midland.
All right, we're back with you, talking to Jarret Skorup from the Mackinac Center for Public Policy, where he's the Vice President of Marketing and Communications, talking about the Mackinac Center, what they see as priorities for the state coming up this year. Let's talk about education for a moment in general. How do you see education in the state of Michigan, and what do you think it needs?
Well, I think that Michigan spends a lot on education. We're among the highest spend per student, but we're pretty low in terms of how well our students do, in terms of test scores and graduation and college readiness and things like that. So the Mackinac Center is supportive of school choice. We think, there should be this, what Michigan calls the foundation allowance, and that people, right now you can take that money essentially to any public school or charter school in the state that you want. We think that should be opened up to private schools or homeschooling or tutoring or a combination of all the above. And so we think that flexibility would be good. But I really don't think there's going to be that with a Democratic legislature. The governor certainly has opposed that. So I'll be interested in seeing what we do here in the state. But something besides just continually spending more money, I think we should try.
Another thing on your list is to maintain the sustainability of the Michigan Medicaid program. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, Medicaid is the largest area of the state budget now. It's really skyrocketed. You just have a huge percentage of people that are on this program, and especially kids. And so we support flexibility and how people spend it, availability for more doctors, and more hospitals and medical providers, but also things like cracking down to make sure that we don't have fraud, that people have work requirements in order to qualify, that they're seeking out work, seeking to get off of Medicaid, which is really not that great of insurance, and that there's many other states that spend a lot less than we do on Medicaid but have better health outcomes, so exploring some of those ideas.
Lastly, Line 5, which is the petroleum transport pipe under the Mackinac Straits, and your position on that?
Well, we just support reliable energy across the state. So pipelines are the most efficient way and safest way to transport natural gas and oil, and which is most of the energy that we rely on. And energy is Michigan spends very high rates of energy, but we have very low reliability. We don't have competition in which energy providers we can choose. We have a lot of mandates on renewable energy and where people can get their power from. And so we just generally support a more competitive environment for that. And then the Line 5 issue, which is we're going to be relying on natural gas for a long time. And so the question is, how do we best transport it? And I don't think there's any question doing it through pipelines is the best way. That's certainly better than trucking the natural gas across the Great Lakes. That opens you up to more and smaller spills. So doing it safely with a new tunnel built under the bedrock is the best way to go there.
All right, let me ask you finally, this is more of a national question than a state question. For decades now, we have had Medicare in the United States. And it would seem for most seniors, and I'm in that group, it has performed relatively well. Would you agree with that? And is that a reason to look at universal health care in this country?
I think Medicare has performed fairly well, but the reason for that is exactly why we shouldn't do universal health care in this country, which is there's two ways to look at it. There's one, which is that the government provides the health care, which a huge part of our health care is provided by the government through Medicare and Medicaid. But what you need to couple that with is a very competitive private sector where you have a lot of hospitals and a variety of medical services and places that you can take that Medicaid and Medicare to go through. So I think we do need to, the government does need to have a role in providing health care for people in terms of the payment end, and we can all debate how much that is and for how many people. Really important is allowing a combination of nonprofit and public and private hospitals that are competing and trying different things to get the best service possible.
Last comment and question, because I've always chuckled about this. You mentioned competitiveness in the healthcare industry, but competitiveness in the healthcare industry is entirely different than it is in the, let's say, retail segment. Because when was the last time you heard a hospital advertise, come stay with us because we're $10 cheaper than the guy down the road? No, that's not what they advertise. Come stay with us because we got all the bells and whistles. And when it comes to my health, I want you to have all the bells and whistles.
Yep. No, that's true. But there's major medical things that you're doing, and there's minor medical thing. And one of the things for me, I've got 4 young kids. I just want to know what it is. What's the problem? Right. And so getting somewhere in very quickly, not having a wait time, or increasingly being able to do that where they say, oh, that's no big deal, here's what you do. Or, yeah, that is something, bring them in very quickly. I think that's why you need kind of that competitive and a variety of different options for people. But, yep, you're right.
All right, Jarret, listen, always a pleasure to talk to you anytime. Love doing it, and we'll see what's ahead and see how the Mackinac Center for Public Policy fares this year with some of their priorities.
All right. Thank you very much, Art.
Have a great day. Bye-bye now. Jarret Skorup, he is the Vice President of Marketing and Communications for the Mackinac Center for Public Policy, the nonpartisan research and educational institute dedicated to improving the quality of life for Michigan residents. And the way they do that is to promote sound solutions to state and local economic policy questions. They are a free market think tank. We will take a break, and then when we come back, not a lot of time for open phones, but I have some things I want to bring up.
It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity during tax season because so much sensitive info is all together.
Before we start the annual meeting of Sean's personal info, has anyone seen Social Security number?
Not me.
Nope. Oh, no. He's been stolen.
LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. If you become a victim, we'll work to fix it. No one can monitor all transactions, but you can save up to 25% off your first year with promo.com. Identity theft protection starts here.
I love working on my cars, but I wish I had more space for my shop.
Give General Steel a call. In business for over 30 years and with over 5,000 five-star customer reviews, General Steel can help with projects ranging from RV storage and garages to churches, workshops, and even for Fortune 500 companies. And all General Steel custom buildings are backed by our 50-year warranty.
But that's got to cost a fortune.
Actually, General Steel buildings are more affordable. And thanks to our highly efficient construction, you can go from dreaming it to enjoying it in no time.
I need to give the General a call. How do I get more information?
Call 8 Steel or visit mygeneralsteel.com to find out what General Steel can do for your home or business. That's 866-96-STEEL. Our team will answer your questions and offer you a customized quote. Just call 866-967-8335 now or mygeneralsteel.com.
Let's face it, credit cards are pretty much a necessity.
New tires for the car? Oh, here's my card.
I order takeout, here's my card. And most of us just accept the high interest rates credit cards charge as a necessary evil.
What are you going to do?
Get a low fixed rate credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream from $5,000 to $100,000 and pay off those credit card balances. And you could get your money as soon as the day you apply. The average credit card company charges over 19% APR, but with a fixed rate as low as 7.99% APR with AutoPay and Exxon Credit.
Now I can pay off my high-interest credit cards and save money with a much lower rate.
Apply today at lightstream.com/radio and get an additional. That's lightstream.com/radio. Lightstream.com/radio.
Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 7.99% APR to 21.49% APR. Includes 0.5% auto pay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply, and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/radio for more information.
Science proves quality sleep is vital to your mental, emotional, and physical health. The Sleep Number is your movements and automatically adjusts to help keep you both effortlessly comfortable. And it's temperature balancing, so you stay cool. So you're your best for yourself and those you care about most. Life-changing sleep, only from Sleep Number. It's our ultimate Sleep Number event. Save 50% on the Sleep Number 360 limited edition smart bed plus special financing. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com. Special financing subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
Afford to lose 30% of my 401k or IRA again, and I'm assuming you can't either. Call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick your precious metals. That's it. You now own precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today to learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan. 833-404-GOLD. 833-404-GOLD.
The WSGW Morning Team.
Winter is finally arrived.
Yeah, how about that?
It took all of January, but this is what we wanted.
Well, who wanted this? Who?
I promise you there are many,
I was enjoying it.
There are many people who are just now, it's like finally they can do some stuff around here winter. They don't have to go north.
Denise, I was tired of looking at
That's true.
gray
Tired of looking
and
at
mud
gray,
and just
I know.
It was nice seeing my dog.
Is there any dog that doesn't like the snow?
Yeah,
I'm sure.
There are some.
But
Yes.
My dog laid out in the snow yesterday, and he's fairly big. And he was laying in that snow just like,
come on out and join me.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
Thanks anyway.
And Charlie, with the cold weather, you got your ice rink back, right?
Finally, been waiting for it. It's been a puddle of water for the past month.
Charlie, Denise, and Pat, your morning team. 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
On Saturday, February 11th, the Disability Network of Mid-Michigan presents Feathers and Fedoras. It's a Roaring 20s gala to benefit independent living programs for people with disabilities. Grab your silk top hat, your best flapper dress, and prepare to foxtrot the night away with dance music by Stone Street Revival. Find Lady Luck at the casino. Hit the speakeasy for Giggle Waters. Feathers and Fedoras, Saturday, February 11th at the Doubletree in Bay City. For information and tickets, click on the Feathers and Fedoras box you'll find online at WSGW.com.
Hi, this is Mike Avery. You know you can hear my outdoor magazine show Sunday mornings, 9 till noon on WSGW. But now there's another option. Saturday morning, 6 till 9. Tune in for the latest outdoor news and information, hunting and fishing tips, wildlife and conservation issues, even some wild game cooking. That's Outdoor Magazine now on Saturday mornings too, 6 till 9, right here on WSGW 790 AM and 100.5 FM.
All right, we are back with you in the waning moments of this first hour of the Art Lewis Show. Carl's in Saginaw, so we'll end up the hour talking to Carl this morning. Hi, Carl.
Good morning, Art.
Morning.
Well, the debt limit is back in the news again today. Speaker McCarthy and President Biden are going to meet today to talk about. But the thing, we don't know what the Republicans want to cut. They have not said what their plan is.
Yep.
Biden said, show me your budget and I'll show you mine. But the Republicans, they're being very coy about where they do want to make cuts.
I have to be honest, I like it. And the reason I like it is I think these negotiations ought to take place at the White House behind closed doors, because putting it out in the public does no good to anybody. I mean, one side's going to have their view, and the other side's going to have their view. But the reality is the negotiations happen behind closed doors. By the same token that the Republicans have not shown their hand yet, is it right for the president to say, we're not going to negotiate on anything?
Well, during the Trump years.
No. We're talking about this president. We're talking about this president right now. Every time we bring something up, the other side always wants to go back to Trump or go back to somebody else. No, let's talk about right now.
The budget was already passed, Art. That was negotiated. It was, with both parties.
I understand that, but as you've rightly pointed out, the debt ceiling is back in the news, and it is now a subject of discussion because this discussion is not about. No. This discussion is not about this current budget. This discussion is what cuts can we do in the future if you want the debt ceiling risen now, because they don't want to have to go through this time and time again.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, so they cut Social Security, and they're not going to cut Medicare. That means major cuts. That means major cuts to the military.
No, not necessarily.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't. It means get rid of the waste. We all know there's waste in the military. No. There's waste everywhere. But and there's probably waste, and there probably is waste, and there's probably waste in Medicare and the like, and Social Security that can be looked at. And I do think
that's not going to balance. That's not going to balance the budget.
I do think
not even close. Not even close.
I do think that at some point in time they're going to have to get realistic about Social Security. The actuarial tables it's based on are so outmoded that it can't be self-sustaining. And at some point in time, something's got to give, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. But the Republicans won't come out and say that. You just said it, but the Republicans won't come out and say it. They won't say it in public what their plans are. And it doesn't mean just it doesn't mean just raising the retirement age. Well, that's not what their plans are.
So they won't come out and say what their plans are, and the Democrats don't want to touch it at all. So where are we going to go? Eventually, there's got to be a middle ground here. Eventually, they have to reach a middle ground. It's only common sense. Otherwise, these things are all going to implode, and then where are we going to be? So I just, hey, look, I got to go because of time here, but we'll talk about it again.
I don't think holding our credit rating hostage is the way to do it.
All right, good enough. Talk again. Thanks, Carl.
Right, thanks, Art.
Be back to close out the hour.
Your local Zematic dealer works hard to give you every advantage when it comes to your irrigation operations. This year, we're giving you a head start in preparing for the upcoming season by letting you choose between industry-leading interest rates and deep per-tower discounts on a new Zematic pivot. The earlier you act, the better your deal will be. Better deals, better equipment, better season. Better contact your local Zematic dealer today to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. See your local dealer or visit lindsay.com/spring sale for full details.
Guys, this Valentine's Day, give her the next best thing to wearing nothing at all. Available exclusively at Pajamagram. Sexy, sultry, naturally nude pajamas feel just like her soft skin. Even more alluring than lingerie, the texture and touch of these pajamas. You'll both love the feel of them. Leave nothing to the imagination with naturally nude pajamas. Go to pajamagram.com right now and save 25%. Pajamagram will even wrap the whole gift up for free. That's right, 25% off naturally nude pajamas and free gift packaging. Listen, if you missed out on this offer during Christmas, don't make the same mistake twice. But you need to order today because last year they sold out before Valentine's Day. Here's what you do. Go to pajamagram.com right now. That's pajamagram.com. Use code NUDE, N-U-D-E, and save 25% off your order of naturally nude pajamas.
It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity during tax season because so much sensitive info is all together.
Before we start the annual meeting of Sean's personal info, has anyone seen Social Security number?
Not me.
Nope. Oh no, he's been stolen.
LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. If you become a victim, we'll work to fix it. No one can monitor all transactions, but you can save up to 25% off your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Identity theft protection starts here.
That'll do it for this first hour of the Art Lewis Show. We will be back with more. We'll talk to Chief Reggie Williams on the flip side.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. We have breaking news from Delaware to start with. FBI agents are at President Biden's home in Rehoboth right now. One source tells CBS News it's in connection with the classified documents investigation. The president's search was planned and has Mr. Biden's full support and cooperation. We're just getting word the funeral in Memphis for the 29-year-old FedEx worker brutally beaten by police has been delayed for several hours because of bad weather. CBS's Steve Futterman has details on the service.
It will be the final farewell for Tyre Nichols. Thousands are expected to attend the funeral. It will be presided over by the Reverend J. Lawrence Turner.
I think this is going to be one of the defining moments of the contemporary civil rights movement, that his death will not be in vain.
The eulogy will be sharp to
what happened to Tyre is a disgrace to this country.
And among those attending the funeral will be Vice President Harris. Steve Futterman, CBS News.
And her office says the vice president's flight to the funeral has been delayed. There are almost 2,000 flight cancellations in the U.S. so far today and more than 1,000 delays as icy weather continues to freeze over states from Texas to Tennessee. Meteorologist Craig Allen with our affiliate WCBS.
Abilene, San Angelo, temperatures are in the 20s with freezing rain and sleet. Waco, Texas, on down towards Austin. San Antonio, it's right near the freezing mark. Tyler, Texas, and it's in the 20s, also with freezing rain and sleet falling.
Power is out to more than 247,000 customers in Texas. Tom Brady stunned fans with a Twitter post this morning.
Good morning, guys. I'll get to the point right away. I'm retiring for good.
The 45-year-old quarterback was teary-eyed, thanking family, friends, and fans for supporting him all of these years. Brady's retirement comes a year to the day after his first, before he unretired a few months later. He's played 23 seasons in the NFL, won 3 MVP awards, and 5 Super Bowl MVPs. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis placement course for high school students combining Black history with arts and culture to be canceled. Brandy Waters, program manager at the College Board, tells CBS Mornings.
It's one where students have the opportunity to delve into the depths of African American experiences. They see the diversity of these communities and the broader connections between the U.S. and the African diaspora.
DeSantis has called it indoctrination. New study links processed foods with an increased risk of cancer. CBS's Linda Kenyon. Researchers from London's Imperial College defined the culprits to include carbonated drinks, cereals, mass-produced and packaged breads, and prepackaged meals. This is CBS News.
Is your home improvement destination. We've got everything you need for your projects, from ceiling to floor. Why settle for a boring ceiling when there's so many acoustic and decorative options? Armstrong ceiling tiles are the best way to elevate your style to new heights. They're easy to install and add a great new look to your home. Right now, save big money on ceiling tiles. Plus, check out all the great deals going on now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Angie's List is now Angie, and we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
It was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic. Must be a tech thing.
But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish.
It sounds easy.
It is, and it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Sunny skies and 13 degrees at 10:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. Law enforcement in Genesee County have identified a body recovered from a dam Monday night. Investigators believe 59-year-old Tony Bigelow of Flint died when he accidentally fell through the ice near the Holloway Dam. His body was discovered by someone walking on the catwalk over the dam around 5:30 Monday evening. Divers from multiple sheriff's departments responded using a hovercraft from St. Clair County to pull the body from the frigid water. An Iosco County commissioner accused of impersonating a police officer has been sentenced on a lesser charge. Last September, a Hale school bus stopped at a fire station in Ogama County when a child received a bloody nose. During the stop, Charles Finley flashed to police until Ogama County Sheriff's deputies arrived on the scene. While Finley was a reserve police officer in Iosco County, he had no authority to detain the bus and was arrested and charged. However, Finley's lawyers argued he simply made a mistake. Finley pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor charge of possessing a police badge and will serve a year of probation. If he keeps out of trouble during the probation, the charge will be dismissed. Police say 3 aspiring rappers who met while in person have been missing for 10 days after a Detroit gig suddenly was canceled because of an equipment problem. Commander Michael McGinnis says their disappearance is alarming. The men, identified as Armani Kelly of Standish and 2 other Michigan men, Montoya Givens and Dante Wicker, were scheduled to perform at Lounge 31 in Detroit on January 21st, but their appearance was canceled. Kelly's fiance says phone calls, text messages, and social media contacts have not been answered since that evening. His mother has tracked his vehicle using OnStar. It's located at the moment. Police are checking license plate readers and security videos to try to. WSGW News Time, 10:07.
Cool in the Gang, March 18th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort.
Oh, yes, it's ladies' night. Oh, what a night.
Tickets start at $40 and are on sale now at the Soaring Eagle box office and etix.com. Bring in the party. Get down on Cool in the Gang, March 18th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Party hard, throw down harder. More at SoaringEagleCasino.com.
Why do I like to work at Alpha Media Saginaw?
Endless opportunities.
Fun work environment.
Flexible schedules.
Alpha Media Saginaw is expanding their marketing department and looking for the right team player to continue to help local businesses grow through on-air and digital campaigns. We offer flexible schedules, full benefits, and paid holidays. If you have a passion for sales and love building relationships, General Sales Manager Carrie Gustafson at 989-752-3456 or apply online at alphamediausa.com/careers.
Alpha Media is an EEO employer.
WSGW News Time, 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. Ann Arbor police are out with a new statement after a missing teenage girl was found dead on the campus of Pioneer High School on Monday. They say there are a lot of, quotes, unanswered questions as well as a lot of misinformation about the death of Adriana Davidson being shared on social media, end quote. They go on to say a cause of death is pending autopsy results. Ann Arbor police say they will be transparent and they are not currently looking for anyone who may have been involved with her death. After reviewing security video from the school, they believe Adriana was alone when she died. The family first reported the 15-year-old missing on Saturday. The sheriff's office found her body on Monday. If financial woes are affecting your work life, you're not alone. Jeff Jones is the chairman for the National Association of Personal Financial Advisors and says a new survey shows 9 in 10 American workers are stressed out about their finances, but there was also a surprise.
What is a little surprising is that they say they would perform better at work if their employer offered financial wellness benefits. 63% of Americans said that they're less productive at work because they spend a half hour more every day thinking about their finances.
Jones says it's a win-win for companies to bring in a personal financial planner for those employees. A new hotel will be moving into downtown Detroit. The 600 to 800 room hotel will be part of an expansion plan for Huntington Place, which is also set up for renovation. The Detroit Regional Conventional Facility Authority says Sterling Group, headquartered in Detroit, is the project's developer. Tourism officials say with a number of major events, such as the 2027 NCAA Men's Basketball Final Four, the new hotel is sorely needed. They're hoping to break ground in WSGW News Time. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. We'll see a few spotty flurries early today. Otherwise, partial sunshine develops today with a high into the mid-20s. Winds out of the southwest around 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusting as high as 20. Then for tonight, mostly cloudy skies, a low near 19. Thursday, a slight chance for snow showers here late. A blend of clouds and sunshine develops, high around 32. Then on Friday, a chance for flurries, cloudy, high around 12. Saturday, mostly cloudy, warmer, high around 31. Then on Sunday, cloudy, high 37. Meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 13.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
And indeed we are, Westside Decorating Center at 5789 State Street in Saginaw. See their newly expanded showroom and get everything you need for home decorating at Westside Decorating Center. As you know, today is scheduled the funeral of Tyre Nichols in Memphis. He was the young man that ran afoul of 5 officers in the Memphis Police Department, and their actions, according to the videos and everything that we've seen, led to his eventual passing. We're going to talk about policing today, and we're going to do that with a man who, over the years, I have grown to really appreciate and respect, not only as a police chief, but just as a human being. And I'm very pleased to say good morning to Chief Reggie Williams of the Buena Vista Police Department. Reggie, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mark.
Thanks for being with us today. All right, so, and just so the audience understands, not only have you been policing for a lot of years, you've been at it for most of your career, you also come at it as an African American. So when you saw the video of what happened in Memphis, what was your initial reaction?
Well, initially, I couldn't even watch the video. I couldn't watch the video for a couple days after it was released. I think I watched maybe about 5 to 10 seconds of it, and that's all I could stand because it was that disturbing. And it was, for me personally, it was disturbing to see, one, obviously as a chief and a law enforcement officer, but as a Black man watching 5 Black men beat this young brother the way they did. It's still disturbing to talk about it right now. So my initial reaction was pure disgust. There was, and I can tell you that no matter what Tyre Nichols had done prior to, there was nothing to justify what I was watching. So that's why the disgust was so deep, because there was nothing he could have done to justify those actions.
And I think we need to point out, and I've said this many times because I'm the product of a law enforcement officer. My father was a federal agent. It's unfortunate when these incidents happen. It's unfortunate for a number of reasons. One, the death of a young man that didn't need to happen, obviously. But it gives a black eye to law enforcement. And the reality is there are tens and tens and tens of thousands of men and women who put the uniform every day, go out and serve us, protect us, and do it the right way. But all we hear about are these incidents.
Right. And it's at this point, it's to the point we use the cliche now of, bad apples. We have a few bad apples, and what at this point it's time to just really get a new barrel to hold the apples in. Okay, it's about the structure, it's about the foundation at this point, because we all know we're always, I don't care what profession, you're always going to have those bad apples. But when we're constantly, and at this, it's constantly nationwide where we're seeing these incidents with law enforcement and community, it's time to change the structure. We got to go in and break the foundation and start over, do something different. Because we can't keep saying it's these few people. Just this morning at the Saginaw Crime Prevention Council meeting, I discussed, basically, I'm proud of what we do here in Saginaw County when it comes to law enforcement and community. And I really wish that other areas could mirror what it is we do, because yes, we still have incidents, but we don't have what we see across the nation. And it's because of the collaboration between law enforcement and community.
So how do you weed out the bad apples, so to speak? And here's how I mean that. I would trust that if I went and looked at the Memphis training manuals for police officers, none of what you saw in that video would be included in that manual.
Correct.
So how do you know the individual you're hiring is going to follow the policies of the department? How do you do that?
Me, off the top of my head, I believe it begins with the background and the vetting process, the psychological evaluations, and then having continual psychological evaluations if necessary. But those things have to be in place. Our background checks have to become more strenuous. We have to do a much better job before we let certain individuals in the door, and that starts at the right at the beginning of the hiring, making things while they're in the academy, and even in that first 6 months to a year after they get out of the academy in the field training officer program, making sure we're staying on top of the things that just might look, this is not looking right. So correcting those issues at that time.
And that, people don't realize how much training there is. I mean, it's weeks and weeks and weeks at the academy, and then months and months with a field training officer. You don't just put on a badge and go out and patrol. No, and when we went through the incident with George Floyd, the topic of training, it was huge. And I don't think a lot of people understand law enforcement is probably the most, we're trained the most, I think, out of any profession. There's constant training all the time. The availability for training is there year round. Whatever your training budget allows you to do, we're training all the time. So training is something that we need, but it's not going to fix the issue because we've been doing that. We have to stop these individuals from getting in the door. Let me ask about policing concepts, because the one that I always believed in was community policing, because I grew up in New York City, and even in that giant city, I knew the beat cop, and he knew me. He was there. I could talk to him. He could talk to me. And that's the way it was. You knew the guys and gals patrolling your area. We got away from that and we became totally motorized. How do we get back to that given budget constraints and everything? I know there are attempts, but I threw that word in budget because I knew I'd have to.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, Art. When I was with the Saginaw City Police Department, majority of my career was community police oriented. No matter what it was I was doing, it was community involved. But that came because we had the funding to do so. When our community policing program there was strong, it was because of the funding, and that funding has been stripped from law enforcement, and we need it back, because one thing that community police, it has proven that it works. It has proven that it works when it's in place. And I believe in it so much that I have my detective now, Detective Passing. He's my detective, my community police officer, but he's an officer that just enjoys being in the community, and the community loves him. So my thing is, I'm not going to pull that away just because you're in if we're able to still do some of those community policing concepts, we're still going to try to do that, even within our budget constraints.
All right, Reg, hang on. I've got to take a break. Come back. I want to talk about a couple other things. We're talking to Reggie Williams. He's the police chief in Buena Vista, and we will return after these notes.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender by Norton is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681.
Did you know 1 in 4 vet visits involve? And 70% of your pet's immune system is based in their gut. Dinovite nutritional supplement has key nutrients for your pet's digestive tract, skin and coat, and immune system for an all-around healthier pet. Get a free probiotics booster with your purchase of Dinovite for dogs by using code DOG at dinovite.com.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dinovites.
I'm Liz Clayman, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks lost ground at the open with the deepest losses for the Dow. The Federal Reserve is interest rates by 1/4 percentage point today to fight inflation. The latest update on the job market was much weaker than expected. Payroll processing company ADP says just 106,000 new jobs were created by private employers in January. The weather likely was a factor in that number. Chip maker Advanced Micro Devices saw its business slump at the end of last year. The business did hold up better than forecast, and AMD shares opened up 5%. But Snap Inc. shares are down more than 12%. The parent company of Snapchat reported the weakest growth since it went public nearly. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
It's Jesse Kelly here. I can't afford to lose 30% of my 401k or IRA again, and I'm assuming you can't either. Call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick your precious metals. That's it. You now own precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today to learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan. 833-404-GOLD, 833-404-GOLD.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
On Saturday, February 11th, the Disability Network of Mid-Michigan It's a Roaring 20s gala to benefit independent living programs for people with disabilities. Grab your silk top hat, your best flapper dress, and prepare to foxtrot the night away with dance music by Stone Street Revival. Find Lady Luck at the casino. Hit the speakeasy for Giggle Waters. Feathers and Fedoras, Saturday, February 11th at the Doubletree in Bay City. For information and tickets, click on the Feathers and Fedoras box you'll find online at WSGW.com.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show, it's G.I. Joe Day.
G.I. Joe Day?
You know what G.I. Joe wears for underwear?
No, tell me.
None. Goes Commando.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
And we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show. We're talking to Chief Reggie Williams of the Buena Vista Police Department. By the way, Reggie is also a city council member for the city of Saginaw. And Reggie, so I have a question. We have to put aside, for this question anyway, we have to put aside the Tyre Nichols incident because that was black on black. But for many, many years, decades, in the black community, there has been a distrust of law enforcement, in many instances, probably rightfully. And it's been said many, many times that a lot of police departments don't resemble the community they serve in. So if you have a distrust, as you do in the black community, how do you recruit out of that community? How do you go in and talk to youngsters about becoming the very job they distrust to start with?
That's a very good question. And it's very difficult. And I say it's very difficult from experience because that's what I do. I talk to the youth in our community about becoming law enforcement officials. And the feedback that I get is really about what they see in social media and what they see in mainstream media being, flashed in front of their eyes all the time. And so that distrust is constantly being nurtured through what they see, and they have fewer interaction with actual law enforcement officers. So when I go into a school and sit and I talk with the youth, that might be their first, second, or third time they've actually had interaction with a police officer, but they just saw
in a positive way.
Positive way, right? And so you take that 1, 2, or 3 times, against the 25 times they just watched, or 25 different incidents they just watched, it doesn't make a difference that, hey, I got this officer who's coming in talking, but these officers are doing all of this. That's what they keep in their mental Rolodex there. So it's a very difficult thing to combat because trying to convince them that you can do better than what you see. And then on top of that, the unfortunate lack of pay, monetary incentive for them to come in, and especially when they want to go to school and do something else that could pay more, it's a very difficult thing to combat.
Had a caller leave a question. What the caller said was policing is inherently white, and that the situation in Memphis, even though all the officers involved were black, was driven by racism. Your thoughts on that?
I can't say what it was driven by in this incident yet because enough has not come out. But to the to law enforcement being inherently white, that's true. That's what it has been. And trying to break that mold has obviously been very difficult. But what happened in Memphis makes it even more difficult now because of what these officers did. To go out and say, hey, we want more black officers to resemble this community, but we can't trust those black officers just like we can't trust the white officers. That's what we're dealing with now.
So Reggie, what was it that drew a young Reggie Williams into policing?
A conversation with back then Deputy Chief Darnell Jackson, who is now Judge Jackson.
Yep.
It was a lengthy telephone conversation because I was already a community activist at that time, and what he told me sold me was that I could do more within the system than I could on the outside of the system, and those words turned out to be very true. I feel I've been able to do so much more because of my intent, who I am at the core, and being able to manifest that through my job I'm thankful. I'm grateful for the opportunity that I've had. And I grew up just like a lot of people. I did not like law enforcement. I could not stand. If you ask anybody that I went to school with in high school, they would have never guessed I would have been a law enforcement official. But I was able to get into this position and see what it's like on this side as well. And I'm grateful for the opportunity.
And that was how many years ago?
Let's see, I'm 49. Let's say 20 years ago. 30 years.
30 years? Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. We all grow older.
No, I'm good with that.
But you think back to 30 years ago, I would dare say that racism was probably in a worse place than it is. We've
I
made
would say
improvements. Not great, but we made improvements.
yeah, and my belief is that racism, unfortunately, is something that is always going to be here. It's always going to be around. I want to be an optimist and say, hey, to go away one day, but it's not. If we're being pragmatic, it's not going to. But things can be better. Things get better for a while, and then we regress. So,
well, I've said all my life, I've said this, and I grew up on the streets of New York where you kind of respected everybody. You had to for your own sanity and safety. But I've often said that no child is born in this world with a prejudiced bone in their body. It's all a learned behavior.
I totally agree.
Until we break that cycle, you're right. It's not going to go away. Hopefully it will improve.
Right.
And I think it does in incremental ways, but then we have a big blowout and back we go again.
Right.
It's been cyclical that way for a long time.
Yes, it has.
So, when you talk to young black men and women about their future, what do you tell them to make them optimistic?
In regards to law enforcement or just in life, future in general?
Yeah.
That I've said so many different things. So, but as far as it's really doing the best you can at all times and being the best person that you can be at all times. Anyone who addresses or approaches life with malicious intent, there's nothing good coming from that in any way, shape, or form. But it's just about being the best who you can be, loving one another. Honestly, my big preach is love. Just flat out love. Treat people right. Treat people how you want to be treated, how you want your mother to be treated, how you want your brother or sister to be treated. And that's the biggest thing, even in law enforcement, is treating people like you want your family members and yourself to be treated if you were in the same situation.
This crosses all racial lines, but it appears to be more significant, and that is a breakdown in the family structure in the black community. Have I misread that or not?
Let's keep it universal. It's a breakdown in the family structure all over. And fortunately for me, in my profession, I'm able to see that, that breakdown in family structure crosses all racial lines. And because of that, we're seeing the problems that we're seeing at such a high level now versus what it was in the past. I mean, when we talk about, going back to the 60s and 70s, when, we had everyone eating dinner around a table at a certain time, and that societal structure that we had.
You've been to my house. Yes, it was.
Those things are missed. Those things are missed because the disconnect that's been created within family is what causes a lot of the problems that we have in society.
I joke, but that was a thing in my family. I was an only child, and at 6 o'clock every night, it was time for dinner, and that meant at the dinner table with my mother and father, and it also meant that I had to sit there until my father was done eating. He was the world's slowest eater, and I was the world's fastest eater. So that's the time when you discussed the day. You talked about school. My dad didn't talk about his work very much at all. He was a special agent in Treasury, but he wanted me to follow in his footsteps, and he was a criminal tax lawyer and a CPA. And I said, no, thanks, Dad. I have no interest in law enforcement, mainly because I understood what a lot of people didn't about that job.
Mm-hmm.
He was a 96% paper pusher, and every now and then he got out to do something exciting. And that wasn't my idea of a good time. But I've always had a tremendous respect for law enforcement. I grew up having that drilled into me, that you respect those that are serving you. And I think we've lost that today. I just don't see it out there.
Because it's not. It's not. And like I said, it's so many things from videos being replayed over and over, from TV shows to Hollywood, the way law enforcement is put out there. I mean, you could take the Training Day, Denzel Washington's movie, and you see how that unit that he was operating in, how he operated within that unit. And you get kids that grow up thinking like, hey, I can become a cop and I can be like Denzel Washington, in training. No, you can't. You better not, because how he ended up for him, it could be like that, or you'll end up losing your job, one or the other, but it won't be you finishing your career out.
Yeah, it's the same thing in a lot of careers, even the career I'm in broadcasting. You can go to a broadcasting school, you can go to a college, you can learn all this fancy stuff, and then you get hired and the reality sets in. Oh, wait a minute, I have to do the work, And I think policing is the same, isn't it? You can go through the academy, you can learn all of those things, but until you get street smart and get in that patrol car or walk the beat with a fellow officer, the reality then sets in.
Right. There's a time that once you leave the academy, you have to pay your dues for X amount of years or whatever, but you have to pay your dues before you can get into that dream position within law enforcement. You can't just get out the academy and become a detective. Most departments are going to have you wait anywhere between 2 to 5 years to get that seniority under your belt before you can become a detective. So yeah, it's not like it is in the movies.
No. Can you hang on for another segment?
Sure can.
We'll be back. We're talking to Chief Reggie Williams of the Buena Vista Police Department. We will be back with more.
Update your bathroom with help from Menards. A brand new Magic Woods vanity is the perfect addition to your bathroom. Magic Woods offers innovative, trend-setting styles to match your lifestyle. With many sophisticated styles to choose from, it's easy to find the right vanity for you. Right now, save big money on vanities from Magic Woods. Plus, check out all the great deals at Menards.
Save big money at Menards. RocketGrabPlus.com.
This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is from Applied Training Solutions. You are going to get half off of a CPL class. It's normally $150, but you're getting this deal for just $75. A CPL class is necessary for anyone looking for the proper certification to apply for a concealed pistol license in the state of Michigan. And you must be 21 or older. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
How long does it take to tackle a home project? With Angie, you could cross it off over. Just tell us what you need. Indoor or outdoor, repair or redesign. And we handle the rest, sending a top pro to get it done. You don't have to lift a finger, except to tap the screen or click the mouse. Plus, Angie is free to use. So bring us your next home project, and we'll bring it home. Download the app or go to Angie.com. That's ANGI.com to get started.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. Divorce can be complicated, especially if children are involved. If you're a father and want to protect your role in your children's lives, remember Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men with matters like these for 30 years, and we'd love to help you.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com.
First, we decide where we want to go. Then, to get there. Hi, my name's Adam Barada. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold. We're the highest rated precious metals firm in the country. We teach people how to own physical gold and silver. Now, we've won the Best of TrustLink Award 4 years in a row because we educate our clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our experts. We'll send you a free gold kit along with my latest #1 national best-selling book, The Great Devaluation. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the best information, the best process, the best service, the best value. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Attention business owners. Stop throwing your hard-earned money. Imagine owning your own building and saving thousands every year. Sound impossible? General Steel. General Steel can help you save thousands by owning your own custom design building. Just call 888-74-STEEL or visit mygeneralsteel.com to see how much money you can save with General Steel. Our buildings come with a 50-year warranty, and thousands of companies, from Fortune 500 corporations to startups, have trusted the General with their building needs.
If you need to expand or start a new business, you really need General Steel.
I'm very impressed with General Steel. Everyone's been extremely helpful. I'd recommend General Steel to anyone looking to build a steel building.
Stop wasting money on rent. Call 888-74-STEEL. That's 888-STEEL. Or visit mygeneralsteel.com to find out about all our popular quick construction kits, including a 40 by 60 foot building or a 50 by 100 clear span building. Just call 888-747-8335 now or mygeneralsteel.com.
Thank you for being with 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios.
And we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show, talking to Chief Reggie Williams of the Buena Vista Police Department.
I can't hear you, Art.
You can't hear me? I'm here. You can't hear me now? Can you hear me? No? Uh-oh. You can't hear me. That's not a good thing. Reggie, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, he disappeared. Maybe he'll come back on again, because I did have a couple of more questions to ask him. Here he comes. Let's see if we can get him back. All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good. Good. Many police departments across the country have special units, whether that could be simple as traffic, it could be drug enforcement, in some communities, prostitution units, you name it. In Memphis, they had this thing called a Scorpion unit, which they've now disbanded. What is it, and why are those units necessary to policing, or are they?
Well, I think it's going to depend a lot on the community that you're serving, and what those needs are. So, for instance, in Saginaw, we had, when I was with the city, we had the gang task force, and that's when gangs were very prevalent within the city, and the gang task force did a lot of good work. So that was something that was necessary. So, like you said, you got your traffic units, you have your detective bureau, your task force, your emergency service teams. So there are certain. They call them elite units. I call them special units. You have these units that are put together to perform certain tasks, and that's all they're supposed to do. So I think it's necessary depending on the need of the community that you're serving.
Somebody told me, okay, we have a gang task force. Well, I understand that. It's pretty self-describing. You have a traffic unit. I understand that. What is a Scorpion unit? I have no idea.
And I'm with you. I don't know what a Scorpion unit is, and I would have to do more research on that to figure it out.
All right. So in conclusion, as we talk about policing today, do you see many changes coming up in terms of the way departments hire and the way departments train?
I do. I do. I anticipate I definitely anticipate a lot of changes coming down after this, and when the government starts reviewing how things have been handled in the last couple of years with law enforcement. I definitely see a lot of changes, a lot of laws coming into effect.
Well, let's hope that that the result is positive, and we don't have to keep seeing these stories in the news time and time again.
I hope that's the case, but the thing is, a lot of it's just making it harder for us to find those qualified candidates for law enforcement, people that want to get into this profession, because these types of stories are just steering good people, away from becoming police officers.
That's sort of like politics. Like people are. I'll leave it there. I'm not going to go any farther with that. Reggie, I have to tell you, for the many years I've known you, it's an absolute pleasure. I have the utmost respect for you and what you do and how you are involved in the community and how you are as a human being. And I treasure that.
Thank you, Art. I appreciate that. And I feel the same way towards you. You're my guy.
Well, I appreciate it, Reggie. Have yourself a great day.
Thank you. You as well.
Take care now.
All
Bye-bye.
right.
Chief Reggie Chief Reggie Williams. He is the police chief of Buena Vista, a member of the Saginaw City Council, and all around, really, if you got to know him, he's just a great guy. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll have open phones for the remainder of the hour. Not a lot of time, but we will have some open phones.
Spirit fans, Wednesday, February 1st, your Saginaw Spirit take on the Flint Firebirds at the Dow Event Center. Puck drops at 7:05. Join us for Leukemia and Lymphoma Night. You can get your tickets online at SaginawSpirit.com or go in person at the Saginaw Spirit office on State Street. Also, get tickets at the box office at the Dow Event Center.
You're right out front, they score! That's a start. Dean Logan.
And
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe
advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
First, we decide where we want to go. Then we need to know the best way to get there. Hi, my name's Adam Barada. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold. We're the highest rated precious metals firm in the country. We teach people how to own physical gold and silver. Now, we've won the Best of TrustLink Award 4 years in a row because we educate our clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our experts. We'll send you a free gold kit along with my latest #1 national best-selling book. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the best information, the best process, the best service, the best value. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
At Staples, you can count on every project being print perfect, guaranteed.
I need presentations and brochures printed, and they have to be perfect.
Your bounded presentations, brochures with the finest folds, and more will be done right every time. That's our Print Big promise. Now at Staples, get $10 off your document printing and marketing materials order of $50 or more, plus 20% back by a store bonus. Try Staples and see the difference. Ends 2/25. Rewards members only. Bonus must be redeemed in store. See staples.com/stores/printbig for details.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air. Powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Tara, quote, "My doctor wanted me to do saline rinses for my allergies, but I've never been able to successfully use a neti pot. Navage uses suction power, so it's foolproof. There are nights when I'll have particularly bothersome allergies. I'll bust it out, and the results are immediate. It's such a relief. It's become a lifesaver," unquote. She's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
The WSGW Morning Team.
WSW Online poll, the gun reforms in Michigan, and Governor Whitmer's recent, she did outline the policies regarding firearms. The governor said lawmakers should enact universal background check requirements for people who want to buy firearms, wants to create a safe storage standard for guns at home, and pass extreme
risk protection orders, the red flag laws. The governor said,
and I want to be very clear, I'm not talking about law-abiding citizens, hunters, and responsible gun owners from both sides of the aisle. No, we need to get these common sense safety proposals across the finish line.
Poll question for you is this: what gun reforms would you support or not support? Your answer choices are based on the three proposals that the governor referenced. And we've given you a chance to say you support them all, or you don't support any, or a combination of the three. Vote by going to WSW.com and scroll down the homepage and find the poll box.
Your morning team, Charlie, Denise, and Pat, 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
All right, we're back with you, and during the break I did just a little bit of research on the Memphis Scorpion unit that we're talking to Chief Williams about. And there is a concept in policing across the country in many departments, as Reggie said, and it's called hotspot policing. And what that means is you create a unit, and that unit's target is to go into high crime areas and reduce crime in those areas. Now, there's several ways of doing that. One, an overwhelming presence where nobody will commit a crime because you're everywhere and they don't want to commit a crime in front of an officer because they know they're going to get arrested. Or you can take a more aggressive stance and aggressively, punitively punish every crime you see, including traffic stops. And unless you have good leadership, the kind of leadership that sets the tone between right and wrong in how you do things, you're leaving yourself open to what happened in Memphis. And that apparently was the problem with the unit, and their answer was to disband the unit, which I think was done to some degree to appease those who were suffering because of the death of Tyre Nichols, and I understand that, and to calm things down a little bit. So whether that unit ever comes back in some form or another, because crime hasn't gone away in Memphis because of this, the Memphis Police Department will have to reevaluate how it does things. And they're probably going to get some help from the federal government, who's probably going to come in and investigate, as they've done many times in many departments. But the units do serve a purpose when they are correctly run. When you have leadership that believes in the rights of the citizens, and that they are there to protect the innocent citizens, not simply punish the guilty ones, but that's part of the job. When you have good leadership, you have good results. And that's been proven historically in many areas. And Reggie mentioned the crime task force here in Saginaw, which did yeoman's duty for many, many years and was funded, if I remember right, this goes back a couple of decades now, but it was funded initially by the FBI, who found funding to help put that task force together. And it did yeoman's duty. Did it cure all the ills of Saginaw or any other community? No, of course not. Nothing does. But it went a long way in reducing what was happening on a daily basis. So there is a place for these units. And I think the other thing that we have to remember, and I've said this till I'm blue in the face, and you know, maybe it's because of my upbringing and what my father did for a living. My father was a federal agent, but he was a very good man. He would know more. He would be as disgusted as Reggie was watching that video, because he believed in doing things the right way. And he was very much a constitutionalist. I've said this before, and as a matter of fact, many, many years ago when I said this on the air, it got me in hot water with a local FBI agent who became a friend after that. But my father had very little use for J. Edgar Hoover. He had to work with him on a project. But my father's position on Hoover was, the reason he didn't like him was that he said Hoover would trample all over the Constitution in the name of saving it. And that was not my father. My father believed in the Constitution, the rights of the individual, and he was adamant about it. He was respected by the people he worked with in Treasury. He was respected by other law enforcement agencies because he was a man of integrity. I only use that as an example because he is one of tens and tens and tens of thousands of people, men and women, who every day, either with the uniform or in plain clothes, serve and protect us because that's their calling, to serve their community. You talk to an overwhelming majority of police officers. Why did you become a police officer? I really wanted to serve my community. I wanted to help my fellow man and woman. That's the overwhelming attitude of most of them. It's unfortunate that these incidents, and as Reggie points out correctly, they're happening far too often. They put a black mark on everyone who carries a badge. And that's too bad. Because if we lose respect for the people who serve us and protect us on a daily basis, that's not going to bode well for society in the long run. I'm partial to police. I have many, many, many friends who are police officers, and I know of their integrity. I know of their desire to serve, and I know how upsetting it is to them when they wake up to see a news story such as we saw in Memphis, because that's not who they are. Yet, every time we see one of those incidents, that guilty party is the person that represents everyone who carries a badge, and thus another black mark. It's too bad. And we as a society are going to have to come to terms with it at some point in time. We're going to have to come to terms with the fact that we need to spend some reasonably good money on community policing. Get the cops back in the neighborhoods. Get them to know the citizens, get the citizens to know them. It is the probably single most effective way of reducing crime in a neighborhood. You build the trust. The officer becomes a part of the community, and the community knows they can call on that officer when the need arises. All right. Let's take our last break. We'll close out this hour of the Art Lewis Show. Let me talk about Krzyzak's House Family Restaurant. Proud to be a business that serves this area with the finest in dining and takeout services. Grateful for all of you who have supported them. They look forward to serving all of you once again soon. Every day is takeout day at Krzyzak's from 11 to 7, Friday and Saturday, 11 to 8. Today, Krzyzak's House Family Restaurant at the corner of Cass and Michigan on Bay City's south side. Now, for takeouts, for reservations, for parties, for events, call them at 989-894-5531. Krzyzak's.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere. iHeartRadio app.
Let's face it, credit cards are pretty much a necessity.
New tires for the car? Oh, here's my card.
I order takeout, here's my card. And most of us just accept the high interest rates credit cards charge as a necessary evil.
What are you going to do?
Get a low fixed-rate credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream from $5,000 to $100,000 and pay off those credit card balances. Apply online, and you could get your money as soon as the day you apply. The average credit card company charges over 19% APR. But with Lightstream, you can get a fixed rate as low as 7.99% APR with AutoPay and Exxon Credit.
Now I can pay off my high-interest credit cards and save money with a much lower rate.
Apply today at lightstream.com/radio and get an additional interest rate discount. That's lightstream.com/radio. Lightstream.com/radio.
Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 7.99% APR to 21.49% APR and includes 0.5% auto pay discount. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/radio for more information.
Trying to find when and where you can hear the Tigers, Red Wings, Michigan football and basketball, Saginaw Spirit hockey, and SBSU football on WSGW? Just click on the sports broadcast box on WSGW.com for complete game time listings. That's WSGW.com.
And that'll do it for the Art Lewis Show for this Wednesday. Thanks. We'll be back tomorrow live from Saginaw Valley State University, previewing the job fair, which happens Friday. We'll have a number of guests tomorrow to talk about jobs and employment and all of that good stuff. In the meantime, stick around. CBS News brings you up to date on the world and the nation. We'll have a local report on the region and the state, and then we'll be back with Focus.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
On the hour.
I'm Steve Kaifman. Federal agents are now searching President Biden's home in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. CBS's Stephen Portnoy says it's part of the investigation into his handling of documents marked classified.
It's now the third location tied to the president to be searched by the FBI, and it follows a search the president's lawyers say they conducted of Mr. Biden's Rehoboth 11th. They said that search had turned up nothing. The lead personal attorney for the president says this search in Rehoboth was a planned one, conducted with the full support of Mr. Biden's legal team.
Football great Tom Brady says on Twitter he's retiring from the sport, and this time he says it's for good.
You only get one super emotional retirement essay, and I used mine up last year, so really thank you guys so much to every single one of you for supporting me.
Brady, who's 45, announced a retirement last year that only lasted a matter of days. CBS Sports NFL writer Tyler Sullivan.
It does feel like we're kind of seeing the same story play out here. Unlike what we saw a year ago, this is it for Tom Brady. He said he is retiring for good.
Brady is a 7-time Super Bowl champion and was league MVP 3 times. Still a slippery mess in parts of the South. It's been another day with more than 1,000 flight cancellations. Michael Peters is with the Texas Transportation Department.
If you can avoid or delay travel, please do so. If you must go out, drive to the conditions.
The weather has delayed the funeral for Tyre Nichols in Memphis. As CBS's Elise Preston tells us, his death has touched off a loud outcry for action.
Justice for Tyre.
Tyre Nichols' parents Sharpton yesterday in a plea for justice and answers.
But what were they enforcing? And an even better question, where did they stop him for?
It came amid revelations that 4 of the 5 former Memphis police officers facing murder charges for Nichols' death had previous reprimands and suspensions.
Overseas, the biggest day of strikes in a decade in Great Britain, causing problems at schools, airports, and train stations. Nurses and ambulance workers plan to walk out later on this month. Sheryl Crow is on this year's list of nominees for the game, along with Cyndi Lauper, Soundgarden, Missy Elliott, Kate Bush, Iron Maiden, and Willie Nelson. On the road again. Also among those nominated, the late George Michael and Warren Zevon. Inductees will be announced in May. Dr. Phil says he's stopping production of his daytime TV show this spring. He'll turn his attention to a new primetime offering planned for next year. Checking Wall Street, right now the Dow is down 352 points. The S&P is down 24. This is CBS News.
America, your children.
Why would you pay full price when you know at RocketGrabPlus.com? Check out our deals going on right now from Applied Training Solutions, 3rd Gen Tire and Service Center, Style Encore, Salon Blue, the Frankenmuth Aerial Park, and 120 Fitness. Half off? You bet. And it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Did you know soybean diseases like white mold and sudden death syndrome can survive in your soil even after rotating crops? Prevention of these diseases is a constant battle, and yield loss from an infection can be devastating. The right management plan makes all the difference. Keep your beans safe this spring with Heads Up seed treatment. Heads Up guards your seed from both white mold and SDS. Stay protected and profitable by asking your seed dealer for Heads Up. Learn more at headsupst.com.
Did you know 1 in 4 vet visits involve skin and coat issues? And 70% of your pet's immune system is based in their gut? Nutritional supplement has key nutrients for your pet's digestive tract, skin and coat, and immune system for an all-around healthier pet. Get a free probiotics booster with your purchase of Dinovite for dogs by using code DOG at dinovite.com.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dinovite.
What's the most important part of a retirement plan?
Income is king because we all need income. And if you don't have an income plan, you don't have a retirement plan.
That's Kevin Ray, financial coach at Insight Folios. Kevin tells his listeners every week about the importance of income planning, minimizing taxes, and strategies to lead a worry-free retirement. Learn all about that and get your own complimentary financial review by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
Live from the 100.5 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Sunny skies and 16 degrees at 11:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Butcher. The Auburn Township Community Schools Board of Education has approved placing a $243 million bond proposal on the May 2nd ballot. If approved by voters, the bond will finance improvements at all school facilities, also providing revenue for demolishing 3 aging circular classroom pods and constructing a new academic and arts facility at Heritage High School. The gyms, pool, and cafeteria at the high school will remain. The proposal requires a 5.75 mill tax increase, which will cost the average Saginaw Township Community School District homeowner in a home with a taxable value of $50,000, $23.95 per month. Information about the bond proposal is available now on the school district's website at STCS. Or you can email Superintendent Bruce Martin at dbmartin@stcs.org. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency will be cleaning up a former gas station and auto repair shop in Edenville. MLive reports Midland County now owns the former Vincent's Marathon station at 6674 M30 through tax reversion, as the station never reopened following the dam failures and flooding in May 2020. The station has hazardous chemicals at the site, including inside a leaking underground fuel storage tank and several 55-gallon drums. The EPA says the drums were left unsecured and a sinkhole has opened around a septic field at the property. The cost of cleanup is around $675,000, which is expected to be finished in the spring. Safety measures will be implemented to ensure surrounding homes and buildings are not affected. WSGW News Time, 11:07.
Want to make your night out a little more fun? Try some music. And a few rounds of Club Keno.
I won!
But how can the Michigan Lottery make Club Keno more fun?
Tripler time!
That's right, Tripler Time's back. All this month, random Club Keno tickets will have a doubler or tripler message. Find one, and your Club Keno and extra prizes will be doubled or tripled. So triple your fun.
Yeah!
The Club Keno Tripler Time, only from the Michigan Lottery. Knowing your limits is always the best bet.
Why do I like to work at Alpha Media Saginaw? Endless opportunities.
Fun work environment.
Flexible schedules. Alpha Media Saginaw is expanding their marketing department and looking for the right team player to continue to help local businesses grow through on-air and digital campaigns. We offer flexible schedules, full benefits, and paid holidays. If you have a passion for sales and love building relationships in the community, contact General Sales Manager Carrie Gustafson at 989-752-3456 or apply online at alphamediausa.com/careers.
Alpha Media is an EEO employer. WSGW News Time, 11:08. It's coming up next. As leaders in Michigan look to give the state a bigger voice in national politics, the state House voted to move Michigan's presidential primary to the 4th week of February. The move was approved by the state Senate last week.
State Senator Jeremy Moss says they're serious about putting Michigan at the forefront of presidential politics because then that puts the state at the forefront of setting a national agenda. House Republicans fought the move, saying it could cost the state party nearly all of its delegates next year after the Republican National Committee set an early primary calendar that does not include Michigan. Keeping local talent local is one of the topics being discussed at the Detroit Economic Club. Michigan News Network's John Hewitt has this report.
According to the latest economic rankings, Michigan currently stands 31st in the nation, well up from 50th, where we were during the Great Recession from late 2007 into 2009. And there are positive signs, says Jeff Donofrio with Michigan.
We've accelerated economic growth, 12,000 new jobs in transformational investments that have come to our state, $20 billion of private investment. That's more than the 3 years before it combined. So you can, I think, see that we are making progress here. The question is, will we make progress in the future? And Michigan does have some big challenges ahead, not the least of which is population growth.
Another key challenge, Donofrio says, is improving student K-12 performance in the state and retaining those high school and college graduates who far too often leave Michigan.
In front of the Michigan Committee of Elections, Attorney General Dana Nessel was part of a presentation on upcoming election changes. The deadline to have them in place is March of next year. Some of those changes include access to drop boxes and in-person early voting and how to fund the changes. WSGW News Time, 11:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. We'll see a few spotty flurries early today. Otherwise, partial sunshine develops today with a high into the mid-20s. Winds out of the southwest around 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusting as high as 20. And for tonight, mostly cloudy skies, a low near 19. Thursday, a slight chance for snow showers. The sunshine develops high around 32. Then on Friday, a chance for flurries, cloudy, high around 12. Saturday, mostly cloudy, warmer, high around 31. Then on Sunday, cloudy, high 37. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Fuchitsky with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 19.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News GW and online, WSGW.com. Focus is presented by RoofMax. That's RoofMax with 2 X's.
Well, indeed. Welcome to another edition of Focus here on WSGW, as you heard, brought to you by RoofMax. You can find out more online at GetRoofMax.com, or you can call Ben at 989-859-6751. RoofMax with 2 X's. And today, as we have done many times, we are going to catch up on the happenings in the city of Auburn. And to do that, we say good morning to Robin. Hi, Robin.
Hey, Art, how are you doing?
We're doing fine. How are you doing today?
Well, we're keeping warm. It's pretty chilly out there.
I was going to say, it kind of puts a damper on things, but the city, the Auburn area, I mean, you have recreational opportunities even in cold weather, don't you?
Yes, we do. So I'm saying don't grumble about the snow and the fun things going on. Our skating rink has finally been flooded in Auburn Park. So that will be available for you to go out and play a little bit of hockey, do some figure skating, just have a really great time. And of course, that is free and available to anybody in the community as well as out-of-town visitors. Please come and enjoy the skating rink.
And
also,
for those that don't know, tell them where the park is, because I know we'll talk about it many times during the program.
Yes, it's actually located at 9 Mile, which is also called South 10. And if you'd like to put the address in your GPS, it is 425 South Auburn Road, Auburn, Michigan, 48611.
Aha, very simple. Okay, so now you were talking about other activities. Go ahead.
Yes, we finally have snow on our sledding hill at our brand new park, the Range. That is located 2 miles north of Town Center. That is off of 9 Mile, also called Auburn Road, on Lagoon Lane. So from 9 Mile, you'll turn right onto Lagoon Lane if you're, and you'll see there's a really nice parking area there. And our sledding hill has been groomed, and it should be a lot of fun. You can enjoy our first year of really fabulous sledding in Auburn.
And are there hours for that?
Right now, daylight hours. We don't have lighting out there yet, but that park is going to be fully open this spring with our brand new disc golf range. So it's an 18-hole professional disc golf range in Bay County. We're super excited. Everything has been placed, but we're going to do our grand opening in May. So it is open. However, grand opening and the big party is going to be in May.
So let's talk about that for a moment. Disc golf, because you have to plan for it. Is it a team activity? Will there be teams like there are in bowling leagues and tennis and golf leagues? Is there going to be a league effort for disc golf?
We're hoping that we have that and some really fantastic sponsors. We do have some whole sponsors. So if your business or organization would like to get your name on a basket or at a keypad, you can contact us at the City of Auburn for those opportunities. We will also be able to host professional disc golf championships there, so that's going to be fun. And it is a team sport or an individual sport. And at our grand opening, we're going to be giving away some Frisbees, so you're going to want to come out.
So is it a by reservation thing where you reserve a tee time, if you will?
Not at all.
Open?
It's going to just be assume that the only time we reserve that is if we host an event, a disc golf event there. So, of course, that day would be reserved. But otherwise, it's just open to the public. Doesn't matter where you live. You can come out and play disc golf in Auburn as soon as the snow is gone. Now.
I was going to say, when is the grand opening?
Grand opening is going to be in May. We don't have the date set up yet. But we're going to be honoring the Bay Area Community Foundation and all of the folks who helped us put that park together. So come out for some music, some food.
So
keep you updated.
Give us an overview of that park, because disc golf is one of the things there. But what else is available in that park?
Well, with the current weather, you can also go out and cross-country ski, snowshoe out there.
Oh, wow.
Of course, the sledding. So, yeah, you can go out there. If you're looking for a new place to cross-country, you can go out there. And then, of course, in the summer, we'll have cross-country biking, hiking, running. We're hoping that the local school will start using the new park for their cross-country team. So it's just going to be an open, wonderful, rustic, of course, then the city park. But so we'll have a little taste of both in Auburn, which is really cool.
And it's open to everyone, not just the residents of Auburn. Is that right?
Yes, open to everybody.
But, of course, if you're coming to Auburn to recreate, then you might want to eat, you might want to shop, you might want to do some other things in Auburn, right?
Well, yes, and I like to always tell you that Auburn is the biggest little city in the part of the Great Lakes Bay Area. And Valentine's Day is coming up, and we have a very cute new little flower shop. So you can order Valentine's Day flowers. She's got some wonderful deals there. Flowers from the Heart is located at 513 North Midland Road. And right next door to her, kind of connected, is the Harbor Light Photography Studio. So if you want to get Easter portraits for your family or senior pics, now's the time to kind of put in those appointments so that you get a spot.
Aha. And how would they do that?
Just check out Harbor Light Photography online. They are in Auburn, Michigan, and then you can see examples of their beautiful photography there as well.
All right, hang on. I got to take a break, Robin, then we'll come back and talk more about Auburn with Robin after these notes here on Focus.
This season, get medieval on Rhizoctonia with the powerful protection of Excalia fungicide from Valent USA. Here to shield your sugar beets from the treachery of It delivers excellent staying power, keeping your sugar beets from being conquered. Stay one step ahead of Rhizoctonia with the powerful protection of Excalia. Ask your retailer or visit valent.com/Excalia to learn more. Always read and follow label instructions.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUD.
The WSGW Morning Team.
Winter has finally arrived.
Yeah, how about that?
It took all of January, but this is what we wanted.
Well, who wanted this? Who?
I promise you, there are
I was
many,
enjoying it.
there are many people who are just now. It's like finally they can do some stuff around here winter. They don't have to go north.
Denise, I was tired of looking at
That's true.
gray
Tired of looking
and
at
mud
gray,
and just.
I know.
It was nice seeing my dog frolic in the snow in the backyard.
Is there any dog that doesn't like the snow?
Yeah,
I'm sure.
There are some. Yes.
My dog laid out in the snow yesterday, and he's fairly big. And he was laying in that snow just like,
Come on out and join me.
yeah, no, thanks anyway.
And Charlie, with the cold weather, got your ice rink back, right?
Finally, been waiting for it. It's been a puddle of water for the past month.
Charlie, Denise, and Pat, your morning team. 5:30 to 9 on WS.
Dickinson spins on Edie Ward. Pass a reverse lab. Yes, and a foul. Oh, Hunter.
It's Michigan Big Ten basketball. Thursday night, the Wolverines visit the Northwestern Wildcats with coverage beginning at 6:30 p.m. on 790 News Radio WSGW.
You are with WSGW in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios,
where we return on Focus, talking to Robin in Auburn about things happening in Auburn. So let's talk about the main park right off of 10 and some of the events coming up there in the near future.
Well, I did want to let folks know that our applications have gone out via email, if you are on my email list, for the 6 arts and crafts events that are going to be available under the pavilion. And then also, I want to throw out there, I got to pick that farm market master for the Auburn Farm Market. Those applications have gone out as well. And our goal is to always have fresh local produce, eggs, meat, grains, plants, herbs, mushrooms. And I have a special deal for 2 premier local produce vendors. So and you have to commit to coming to each day of the market. So that's 17 market days. That's all I'm asking from you is 17 days of commitment, couple hours a day on Thursday. It has to be a produce vendor, so produce, eggs, meat, grains, all those things that I mentioned. I'm going to give you a special deal that's going to increase your revenue at the Auburn Farmers Market. So you need to email me at auburnfm@gmail.com. Put in the heading, I will be your vendor, and I will get right back with you and offer you that deal. So the first 2 folks I get are going to get that premier vendor deal.
Typically, Robin, when does the farmers market open?
We're normally open around the 15th-ish of June, whatever lies closest to the 15th there on Thursdays. and then we're open to the end of September. And then directly after that, we have our big arts and crafts event in October, Halloween days, usually the first or second Saturday of October.
But the farmers market is every Thursday, is that right?
Every Thursday, 2 to 6. We extended our hours a little bit this year. We were open 2:30, 5:30 last year. So this year we extended a little bit, 2 to 6. So folks who are coming home from work get there. But if you work later than that, we are actually doing 4 moonlight markets this year. So one every month. Those are on Fridays, usually the third Friday of the month, 6 to 9 p.m. We do have produce vendors there, arts and crafts also. We have a food truck or concessions, and we have music so you can come down and dance, shop, have dinner. So
party
that's
time.
to kind of help. It's party time down there. But if you work late and you can't make our market, we try to make sure that we've got our produce vendors there on those Friday moonlight markets so you can have a taste of our market as well.
All right, last word. Anything you want to remind anybody of that we haven't mentioned?
Well, I want to throw out a big thank you to the Auburn DDA, our Downtown Development Authority. You know, folks don't realize how much work these guys do and volunteer to do to make clean and beautiful. They have a facade program where they help business owners fix up the outside of their businesses. They help do our holiday decorations and our plants, flowers, and trees. So in addition to any other development that happens right there in that downtown area, they are amazing folks, and they don't get enough thanks, and I just want to throw that out there.
Excellent. Give everybody the website again.
We are at auburnmi.gov. You can check us out if you want to rent facilities in the park. There's a button right on the homepage that you can click on, and that's going to get you all the information and forms that you need to rent facilities in Auburn Park.
And the farmers market email?
It is auburnfm@gmail.com, and I do check that every day, and I will be happy to get back with you as soon as I hear from you. And don't forget, please email me.
Yeah. All right, Robin. Well, we will chat with you again down the road. It's always fun to learn what's happening in Auburn.
Thanks, Art. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye now. Robin, speaking for Auburn and the Auburn Outreach to tell you what's happening in that community. And we'll be back to close out and find out what's happening in the marketplace after this.
Hi, I'm Tom Kreitler, host of the Money Pit Home Improvement Show. If you think you need a new roof, think again. You can avoid replacement and save thousands with Roof Max, the world's first roof rejuvenation treatment.